Closer to Bully Williams. 93.
3rd and 11. Nothing to work with there as he's pile driven into the ground by the rookie Cooper Dejean.
Yo, welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And today we got a few things we need to talk about. But before we get started, if you could for me, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man. Y'all already know. Also, before we get into what we need to talk about today, I'm also having another free jersey giveaway. Excuse me. Another free jersey giveaway. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel and make sure that your channel is public so I can enter your name into the will. I'm thinking about doing this, I'd say the week of December 15th. Get it to you before Christmas, but I give you a more closer date as the time approaches. But thinking of doing it sometime that week, and being able to have it to you before Christmas, like I said, and you get to pick whatever jersey you want, whatever color, whatever the case may be, from the NFL Pro Shop or the Fanatic store, wherever the case is, and we'll get it to you. So shout out to my boy Christian that won the last one. He got himself a Jalen Carter jersey. And as y'all know, if y'all watched the game yesterday, my boy Jalen Carter went off again. Another sack. Just creating pressure, getting held on almost every play. It's getting to be that. And I know I've heard this from other people. He's young in the league. And he doesn't get the calls because it's just he doesn't have that seniority just yet. But the way he's playing, and if he keeps up the way that he's playing, it's going to be no way in the world that he don't start getting some of these calls, man. He got to start playing them a little bit different. So shout out to Jalen Carter just to start that off with. But shout out to the defense in general, man. Yesterday the Eagles were able to defeat, the Baltimore Ravens at home, at their home. So another great feat within itself. I know we all talk about too, trying to get this number one seed. And as much as you want the number one seed, I just don't want that to become a main focal point. I know I heard Nick Sirianni say this before, 1 week at a time, one game at a time. So, just continuing to go out here. I know we face the Panthers next week, and I don't want to get too far ahead with that. But just keeping it one game at a time so they can keep playing like this on both sides of the ball. I do not see how we don't go back to the Super Bowl. So, with that being said, defense collectively, man, let's get into this. Defense collectively, man, all played well once again. Showing why they're the number one defense in the league. Now, I don't want to make this video too long because I do get a little long-winded with these joints, but I just wanted to read off a few stats from some of the players that I thought really stood out yesterday for this defense. We did have some injuries. I know Blankenship went out with a concussion. I think he's day-to-day. Also on the offensive side, I did get this before because I know I might forget this because I didn't write this down, but Dallas Goedert went out as well, and he's week to week now, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen with him. We all know he does get take a significant injury around this time of the year, but I do like the way that Grant Calcaterra has been playing when he was able to play in place of Dallas Goedert, so I'm not too worried on that end, but we'll need him to step up, man. That's just like anybody else. A lot of players have been having to step up, fill some big shoes. BG going out last week and losing Bryce Huff as well. Jalen Hunt stepped up this game on the defensive side of the ball. Nolan Smith has been playing lights out, recording another sack. Milton Williams has the highest pressure rate for DTs. He's going to look for a bag this season. It's Zach Bond. Oh, God. Eight tackles, 5 assisted tackles. A half sack. He was just everywhere, man. I know, and it's crazy, man. That man, I seen somewhere, and I don't know if I have the stat, but Luke Kuechly, when he played for the Panthers, probably like one of the best linebackers you can think of, right? Zach Bond is outperforming him at this moment in time. So you got to think and I know they said that there's been contract talks, trying to get something done, and where I'm hoping he takes the hometown deal. I know I talked in my last video about how he liked being here and playing with his team. So hopefully, his love for this city will create some type of a discount for us. But, I still want my man to get paid what he's worth. I do know he's getting up there. I think he's he's a little older. I don't know the exact age. I think it's about, I want to say he's like 27, 28 maybe. So he is getting up there in age, but he plays so well, man. Like I said, you can drop him in coverage. You can rush the passer. He makes those tackles. He can go side to side on the field. And he'll be worth every penny of how we can find some way to keep this man on this team. I think I heard some numbers between 12 to 15 million a year, maybe for like 2 to 3 years. I know they probably backload that contract, whatever the case is, but they got to keep this guy together, man. Even with Nakobe Dean playing yesterday, they're the highest. They've been the highest rated linebackers in previous weeks. It's just what more? It's like, what more can you ask for? We've been asking for better linebacker play. And you get Nakobe Dean stepping up, making great plays. He was 5 for 5 yesterday, doing his thing, man. So you can't ask for nothing more, man. The secondary as well. Cooper Dejean dumping Derrick Henry on his neck. Like what? Like, I don't know what they be feeding them kids out there in Iowa, man, but they can flat out play some ball, man. So shout out to Cooper Dejean, making great tackles. He had 5 tackles yesterday. Quinyon Mitchell gave me a little scared yesterday. I'm glad he was okay. But another he added another prisoner to his Guantanamo Bay, and Zay Flowers, flustering and frustrating him. He was getting a little antsy on out there in the field because Lamar was missing him. But it's like I said, defense collectively all together. Reed Blankenship was playing well until you went out with the concussion, and then McCullough came in. You couldn't even tell there was any too much of a difference. Him having 4 tackles. So it's nice to see that these guys are ready. These coaches have these players ready when the time comes. If a player does go out and gets injured, there's no drop off. You don't really see a drop off in the defense. So that's what you want to see, and that's how you know that these guys are getting prepared week in and week out by these coaches. So the coaching cannot go. I gotta give credit to all the coaches every week, man, because it's not just Vic Fangio, man. It's them assistant coaches, the position coaches, and things like that add to what we see on this field. And I really do look forward to watching this defense more than honestly the offense. And I do like Saquon, don't get me wrong, but it's like I'm not used to seeing the defense play this well. And I know I've said this before, but I really do feel like this defense has been playing better than that 2022 season when we went to the Super Bowl. So barring health, if they can keep this up, man, and continue to be the number 1 defense, I don't see how we don't get back to this the Super Bowl, man. Jalen Carter playing the way that he does. This dude, the man is a freak, man. I'm telling you, if he can start getting some of them calls, it's gonna be a lot different for us. So a lot different for him too, man. So shout out to the defense stepping up. Shout out to the guys just playing for Vic Fangio. I feel like they're just taking on his demeanor, man. Like no BS, man. We coming out here. We coming out here to show these guys what we're about. We're in somebody else's house. I know Chauncey had to give a little pep talk in that first half to the guys on the sideline because they weren't playing well. As you know, we always have these slow starts on offense, and the scripted plays at this point I feel like need to just be thrown out, and we just try something different at this point because it's not too effective. And we should be able to hit on these plays because these are plays that you practice throughout the week and you prepare for. So it was just great to see, man. On the latter part of the offense, but this earlier part of the offense is not hitting, and I don't really want this to be and I said this before, I feel like I repeat myself sometimes, but I don't want this to be a cause of concern as the season goes on. I know we've been on a winning streak, eight game winning streak, but you talk about us in the Detroit Lions being able to probably be in the NFC Championship game at this point, and if we can keep everything up, there are some other teams in the hunt, so I can't make it seem like nobody else is close to us. There are other teams in the NFC East that are playing well, but at the same time, I do feel like the Eagles are the best constructed team in the NFL to go out here and beat anybody. I don't see a team that has – we got some weaknesses, but not like these other teams. So, like I said, offensively, they can start, maybe getting off to a faster start would be very nice, but at this moment in time, we just gotta do what we've been doing, man, and just adapt to what they've been throwing at us. I feel like, it takes a little bit of time just for the simple fact that you just want to see how their teams are going to play us, and then they adapt to it, and then they just attack. So it's been working so far, but like I said, I don't want this to come back and bite us in our butt. But overall, like I said, offense started off slow. Jalen Hurts didn't have a crazy game. I know we heard Nick Sirianni come out after the game at his press conference talking about the game manager things, game manager play from or quotes or whatever the case may be from, big name media and things like that. But he was 11 for 19 for 118 yards and 1 touchdown to Dallas Goedert. Beautiful play, too, when he did throw that touchdown to Dallas. But I'm not mad at Hurst, man. You can't be mad at a player for doing his job. They've gotten away from having him pass the ball as many times as they did before the bye. He's probably passing under like 25 attempts and giving that thing to Saquon Barkley, and he's doing the rest of the work. So, and speaking of Saquon Barkley, again, 23 carries for 107 yards, 4.7 yards per carry with a touchdown. Even got Will Shipley in there for 1 carry and 4 yards, so I was happy to see that. But, yeah, man, very nice to see, man. Saquon's still doing his thing, even though the Ravens have a defense, a good rush defense. I mean, good pass. I'm sorry, good run stop defense. Excuse me. And they were still able to get something off. Shout out to the offensive line, man. So, but Lamar, man, I like, and this is no disrespect to Lamar, but I didn't see what I thought I was going to see yesterday from Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens. Still a good team, don't get me wrong, but they really got to give it up to Jalen Hurts at this point. Jalen Hurts has went out here and has beat this year, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Last year he beats Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. So Tua, if you want to put him in there too, whatever the case may be. Matt Stafford, whoever you want to, whoever you want to put out there. He's beating these guys. He's beating Aaron Rodgers when he was, I guess you could still call him elite. I don't really know what more they can say about this team, about Jalen Hurts, about Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni's on an 8-game winning streak. Very different than what we were talking about last year, what we were talking about last year around this time. So it's just, man, it's really a blessing to see, man. I'm telling y'all, because for this defense to be playing the way it's playing and be ranked, 31st last year or something like that, to the number 1 ranked defense in just 1 year, adding a few different players and some coaches, because coaching does matter with this in this league and I think any sport. But it's just great to see, man. And now this team is in talks of having Super Bowl aspirations, which I already thought when they put Saquon on this team. Like, I thought Saquon was the missing piece, and it's been panning off, man. It's been panning off. Derrick Henry too, man. The defense holding Derrick Henry. I know I'm all over the place. I do apologize, but holding Derrick Henry under 100 yards, it was great to see. Lamar did get some passes off, but like I said, it just to me wasn't effective. And then overall with Justin Tucker missing, he is supposed to be the number 1 kicker in the league, but he didn't show it yesterday, missing a lot of field goals and extra points. Maybe it'd been a closer game for them if he hit some of these joints, but he's in his head, man. And I know we had that problem with Jake Elliott, and I think this is also good for Jake Elliott to be able to go out there and hit all his kicks and extra points, whatever the case may be, in somebody else's house, because that builds confidence now. I know we had that little problem, but I feel like Jake came out there following week. He's been doing well so far. So shout out to Jake Elliott and shout out to Justin Tucker too, man. I hope he get back on track. So overall, man, it was a good team win, man. Just that Dallas Goedert injury is kind of bothering me now, because I did like the way they were using him, and I'm thinking moving on. And these later weeks that they would involve him a little bit more, but we should be getting Smitty back. I don't know what the timeline is with him. I know we play the Panthers this upcoming week at home, luckily, so it's an advantage for us. But I do want to see Smitty back on the field. I know A.J. Brown, he had a quiet game for 66 yards, but he averaged like 13 yards a carry on the 5 attempts that he did have. So shout out to A.J. Brown, but I think overall this team is understanding that this is a Saquon Barkley run first team, and then everything is going to come off of that. So you can't be too mad at that, especially when you're winning. Like I said, we're 10-2 now. This Nick Sirianni era is crazy, bro. 10-2, like the 14-3 record for the Super Bowl season, even 10-1 last year before we had the collapse. And we finished 11-6, so it's still kind of somewhat of a decent record, but we're not gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna get into all that. But Yeah, man, it's just still leading the NFC East, doing what we need to do. But man, it's great, man. It's great to see. I know we're gonna get to a point like we're gonna have to like I said, re-sign Zach Bond if we can. Even Milton Williams is another guy. Josh Sweat too is another player that has been playing very, very well. I think he also had. No, he wasn't. No, it wasn't a sack yesterday. I thought he had a sack. My fault. But he had 3 tackles and 2 assisted tackles. But the pressure that these guys can create with the 4-man front, not having to leave the scheme that they wanted to run, staying in cover 2, being able to stop that run. These guys is playing, man. And you got to think Jordan Davis played a limited number of snaps, and still was effective against the run. I do kind of like how they do, and I know I hear Dan Sileo and things like that. I do watch other content creators and stuff, but I hear Dan Sileo talking about that's not effective, but I feel like it is effective. I feel like they found a way to use these guys, like Jordan Davis, who we've complained about. We want to see more out of him, but when he goes in there and he does what he got brought here to do, and he does it effectively, you can't really be mad, even if he only played, a third of the snaps. So, but Jalen Carter playing almost, I think he played all the snaps but one, showing his dominance. But this is what Clint Hurtt said. He said he wanted these guys to be able to go out there and be able to play all 4 downs, and they have been. This is a young defense, man. We have to remember this. A young defense, number 1 defense in the league, and they're playing the way that they're playing right now. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon, Isaiah Rodgers, young defense, man, and they are the number 1 defense. So if they can keep this up, this offense figures out whatever they're going to do in this first half with these scripted plays, man, because we have to do something about that. I think we're too talented of a team to be having these slower starts. And like I said, we're too talented. It's just too much talent on the team. So hopefully we can figure out a way to get some quicker starts, and then hopefully we can carry that into the second half and keep playing, because we play well in the second half. It's just the first half that throws us off. So getting these quicker starts, I think, would be very, very valuable to us. It's really putting foot on necks with these teams. So schedule's looking a little bit easier as the weeks continue on. Like I said, we got the Panthers and the Cowboys who are still trying to make some noise in this league. The Steelers is a questionable game too, because I know they put belt the you know what to the Cincinnati Bengals. So we'll see, man. I just think this defense though is a big proponent into the reason why we're 10-2, because it allows this offense to get themselves together that first quarter and be able to come out and continue to dominate the latter quarters. So I'm trying to make sure I ain't forget anything. I know some information comes out when I make these videos, so I do apologize if I do miss something. But with that being said, man, it's not from the No Cut Sports Podcast. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to keep hearing more of what I'm talking about. But also, if you want to be entered into the free jersey giveaway, make sure you subscribe to this channel and make sure that your channel is public, because I cannot enter your name if your channel is not public into the will. So like I said, with all that being said, man, I really do appreciate everybody tuning into the No Cut Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Niall Frazier. And with that being said, go Birds, baby. You already know, man. I'm going to holler at you. Y'all be safe, man.